You coming in from another state to build a team around you, right? Because team is everything. What does that take you to really get the job done and your vision?
The culture at the hospital is amazing. We're always looking for feedback. How do we get better? What stakeholder? Either the patients when they get a survey after they're in the hospital. How did we do? We want to get better. Like, right, we own it. And I think for me, building a team, it comes from a place of passion and experience. I always put myself in the patient's shoes because I have experience. And so back in 2017, I contracted neuroinvasive West Nile virus. I got bit by the wrong mosquito, right?
Out of here.
That was when I was living in Texas. But I say it as to where I know what it's like to be a patient. And it caused a condition to me called transverse myelitis. And the myelin is basically the insulating sheath on your nerves, and it ate through the myelin on my entire spinal cord. So I was in the hospital for over 6 months. And I don't like to wear a tie. I like to show off like my scar. Like I was on the ventilator. I couldn't breathe for almost 4 months. Almost died, like, right? But HCA, one of our hospitals in Texas, saved my life. If I had not ended up at that hospital, I probably wouldn't be here today. Not only did they save my life, I spent a couple months after the acute hospitalization and a long-term acute care facility determining if I would ever be able to get off the ventilator, if I was going to be on a ventilator for the rest of my life. This was 2017, 2018. And then was able to get admitted to an inpatient rehab facility once I got off the ventilator to try to learn how to live again. Could I walk again? And even when I discharged after a little over 6 months in the hospital, I was still in a wheelchair full time, but I was able to progress from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane. That's not a life-defining experience for me and my family, but what it is it gives me a different perspective. And so every day I love what I do every day. I love that I get to work in a hospital. I know exactly what it's like to be a patient in a hospital, and so that's always the perspective I bring.
A Day in Miami. Watch full episodes on YouTube and subscribe.